Grizz, and welcome to my channel for Chainsaw Man episode 3. Last week, Denji fell in love with Makima, and then he found out that he'll be working for her and not with her. Not something he was too pleased about. We met Aki, who's going to be the squad or group leader or whatever they're in. We got to learn a bit about how he acts and his motivation for why he does what he does. Him and Denji are the complete opposites of each other. Then we found out Denji's going to be paired up with a buddy, that buddy being Power, devil girl with horns. She's kind of crazy, but crazy in a way that she seems like she's going to be fun to watch. But I don't know if there's a whole bunch of like real people emotion behind her, or if she's just completely lost it, but I guess we'll find that out as we learn more about her. Now, after those 2 episodes, I think everything's pretty much set up for what's going to be occurring within this show, so hopefully this week we really start branching into stuff. So let's just hop into episode number 3. Yes, the makeshift of whatever Power did last time. It looks disgusting. She killed the sea cucumber. Makima's here on the cleanup job. That's her problem. She can't. Yeah, Denji's not going to be good for that. Don't question her ability. How are you just going to say that? That's not what happened. That didn't happen. Yeah, they're just gonna get over. Yeah, they're gonna get along great. Huh? She's really bad people skills. Oh yes, the goal, the dream, buddy. Just keep looking. One day. What is wrong with her? No, you should worry about it on someone else because she's lost it. Yeah, you're gonna be fucking dead. Oh no. What a proposal. Yeah. That really fired him up. Headquarters. Yeah. It's like a chaperone. So you gotta hide. Yeah, focus, buddy, focus. But it's cool because he's in me. Yeah, he's my heart now. Buddy. How are the dogs? No comment. Okay.
チェンソーの悪魔になれる。面白いと思うけどな。
That is true. A rival. This way. I like how she walks. Really pretty shot.
そこの家じゃ。
てめえが姿を見せたら猫を人質にされんだろ。こんな近くまでついてきちゃダメでしょ。
おお、そういう設定じゃったが。
You did.
設定？
言い間違い。じゃ。
Oh. Set my mans up. What are you gonna do with him? Also, how did she just what is this place? Does she feed it?
望み通り人間を連れてきたぞ。コウモリ。
Holy fucking huge. So either she works with him and feeds him, or she has a deal with him to feed him a human to get our cat. One of the two. Oh my god. Nice and healed. Oh, never mind. Is it because he's a devil?
よくわしの話を信用できたもんじゃな。やはり人間は愚かじゃ。
This is one beefy motherfucker. Holy shit. And this, he looks like one of those stupid looking chihuahuas. His eyes on the side of his head. Okay, so it was for the cat. It was a deal. Doesn't gotta follow through though. Don't eat the cat. Ah, he's gonna eat the cat. He didn't chew it. Oh, holy fuck.
猫にしてはうまそうな匂いじゃな。早く大きくなれ。ニャーコを殺すのが楽しみじゃな。
This chick is fucking crazy.
あったやつは全て殺してたからな。悲鳴じゃない声を聞くのは不思議な感じじゃな。
血の悪魔よ。猫を殺されたくなければ人間を連れてこい。
チタをもう撫でれんと言っとったな。ウヌの気持ちが分かったぞ。
Yeah, now you can relate.
ひどい気分じゃな。
Yeah. Okay. Find the children. Okay. How the fuck are we gonna catch up to him? Oh, he held on. Pull
ポチ
it.
タがいなくなった時があった。朝起きたらポチタはいなくて、街中を探しても見つからない。家に帰るとポチタは泣きながら俺を待っていた。ほっとしてそのまま一緒に寝たのを覚えてる。あいつはニャーコを悪魔に奪われて。
There we go. Oh, right in the middle? Why? They're gonna come flying through the building. Yep. Just gonna see this big looking bat. Oh no, him. He looks so ugly. The whole fucking building. How do they replace this? But you gotta do some damage. Right through the car? No? He caught the car?
体にそぐわぬ怪力、その力でなぜ人間を助ける。
So he gains some crazy fucking strength when he goes into this. Okay. What the fuck? That's a really cool sound. Okay. Rev that bitch up.
なぜ生きてる。
He didn't even take any damage.
散々な目ばっかあってよ。我慢しかしてねえのに。まだ人もみもしてねえんだよ。
Just let him cop one. Nice. The sounds are so good. Just pouring blood. Holy. Now how the fuck do we get power out of him? Okay. Wow. So after going back through and thinking it over, there's a lot I kind of want to touch on in this episode, so I'm just going to go scene by scene almost and talk about it as I go through the different things that are on my mind. So we start off with the aftermath of episode 2, and Makima comes in and basically tells them, hey, we can't be doing this. We can't be causing messes like this. We can't be taking over other people's jobs to be killing these devils. And initially when I saw it, Power was talking kind of funny to me, and I said she's not really good with people. And that was more so off of the weird way that she always acts with Denji and just everyone else that she's around. But the more I think about it, the more she comes off as afraid or scared. Scared something's going to happen to her, scared of Makima maybe. The moment Makima says to quiet down, she immediately goes silent and just like that you could see the fear in her. What has she been through with Makima? What does she know? Interesting. I don't know. Also, she talks about how humans such as Denji are always lying. Something we'll talk about a couple more times throughout this. Once again, how Power talks about her. Power continues to talk about her hatred towards humans. Also says she doesn't like devils. And then talks about how she was going to recover her cat before she fell into Makima's clutches. Might be me reading into it a little too much, because I guess there's always the thing Makima finds her and then it gives her probably the same situation that she did with Denji, where she's either going to kill her or let her live and work for her. So it makes sense, but like Power could actually also have a real fear and hatred out for her. Denji and Power go on to make a deal where after Power talks about her dream of regaining her cat, Denji talks about his and how he just wants to touch a pair of boobs. Ultimately, this leads to an agreement of a deal between the two where Power will let him fulfill his wish if he helps her and gets the cat back. Then we see Denji, determined as ever, get extremely pumped up and excited to take on and agree to this. Interesting how fiends like Power have to be locked up and basically be kept track of. She's not allowed to leave without permission or without somebody signing her out, almost like she's in school. Once again goes to show what we were talking about with Denji last time, where how free are you really? This might feel more free than you were before, or it might seem like a better situation, but you're not really free. You're practically a slave. They keep tabs on you. They know everything about you. They take your life at any point that they want. Now we begin to get a bit more context into exactly what I guess Makima is in charge of and what she does. They're talking about how things with Americans and the Soviets, and about rumors of how the militaries may begin to be using devils. And the concern that if these other countries are able to get a hold of them, will they be able to turn them against Japan or use them against them, as right now the only worry for the country really is devils and not other nations within the world. Now, I don't know if this is something that they're worried about the other countries being able to somehow get a hold of the devils and make it harder on them, or if it's more every country's like this within the world and people are beginning to experiment and test and find ways to use their devils in order to use it in military-like ways. It also makes me wonder, is this something that is actually happening right before our eyes here with Denji and Power, where they're taking these people with special abilities like this and they're building them up and training them and using them and almost maybe plan to ultimately use them in a military-esque way? And then one of the guys ends up asking Makima, how are the hunting dogs? Once again, not giving them any human-like characteristics, not even considering them as devils, literally calling them animals. Once again, Makima then calls one of them, Denji in the situation, a pup. And then we begin to find out more about her job, where before it was here to kill out the devils and help protect others or something, or almost the assumption that we were basically given by being like a public service member. And in reality, her job is to be in charge of these misfit-like groups and raise them up and make them work for you, as this man calls them, hounds then. So qucontinuous use of animal-like phrases, specifically dogs in the situation, but almost not humifying, almost not humanifying, I don't know the proper word, but you know what I'm saying, where not giving them any human-like characteristics and literally treating them as objects or tools. Then we get, make sure not to get it too attached to them. Makima just sits there and smiles. The silence of that speaks volumes to me. Now, I can't say I actually understand exactly the reasoning for it, as I think there can be multiple, but I think it's very interesting that she didn't make any sort of noise or give a proper response back, and instead she just sat there and kept to herself. Now, I take this only really a couple different ways, where one of them would be, let me not say anything, because if I ultimately do end up getting too attached after not saying it, it'll cause issues. Or if I say something asking, kind of questioning why it could cause issues. But if I just stay silent, whatever happens is kind of something that can happen, or she can continue to operate and maybe get attached to them behind the scenes if she wants. Or the second way, which I think is more likely, there's no need for me to say anything because you already know there's no chance that I get attached to these animals, which I think is a bit more likely, it's seeming like. Interesting nonetheless. Something else I just want to point out again, is I've brought up before, the eyes are interesting, where Denji seems to have pretty normal looking eyes, and I guess even Aki does, even though his are a little bit more detailed, they seem like. Maybe just on the shots that we get of him at least. Whereas Makima and Power have very strange patterned and detailed eyes. Now, I don't know if that's just a gender thing that they're doing, or if it's a devil-like characteristic thing, or if it's a fiend thing, because Power's one, as we know, and they said Denji's not, even though they both have devil powers. So is Makima's secretly one of them somehow? I guess secretly to us? Or is it just a weird stylistic choice that really has no meaning? I don't know, but it's something I'd like to keep note of. Then begins this comparison, which is also a very fascinating idea. We've had different devils so far, the tomato devil, the sea cucumber devil, we've seen different ones, and later on we'll see a bat. Makima goes on to explain how a devil's power is compared to how we view the name in which the devil is, and she uses the analogy of how coffee is not something that we find frightening at all, so if it were to be a devil, would it be scary? However, a car, could you imagine a devil that's a car just driving around, running people over? Really interesting concept. Denji's chainsaws, those are frightening things. Now, she says the more that they're feared, the more powerful that they end up becoming. Is that something that changes over time, or is it more instilled in the moment they become it? The more somebody fears something, so nobody fears, like she said, coffee earlier. But if, like, across the nation, rapidly everybody began to fear it for whatever reason, maybe some sort of report comes out that's weird, is all of a sudden there's a devil that's coffee and becomes one of the most powerful ones. Denji, for example, the more people bring up chainsaws or talk about them, is he going to become more powerful? Or is that something that he kind of just gets a set level at the beginning, so he's not going to be able to gain power because of it? We also have been getting a lot of shots of Makima where they, especially here, where the extended car ride, where she kind of just sat there and didn't respond right away and seemed maybe she was thinking, or maybe she's just very silent in her thoughts. Even when Power and Denji were arguing at the beginning, she kind of just sat there and didn't really say much. And then after they kind of fought for a little bit, she broke it up because they weren't stopping on their own. She's very calculated. She's very keeping to herself and she doesn't do things without a reason or without thinking of it. She's not very act on impulse like somebody like Denji is. She's very calculated. At least that's the way she's reading to me. Power and Denji arrive at the location to go save the cat. And then Denji begins to question why she's going up to the house with him if she said before that she needs to hide and not be in his sight or else they won't be able to get the cat back. She later then says that she misspoke and that isn't true. We later find out that wasn't her intention at all and that's not the case. And she didn't misspeak. She blatantly told a lie, despite the fact that she continued to bring up multiple times earlier about all humans do is lie and how she hates humans and devils do not. Denji then realizes something's up and immediately goes on the offensive, but so does Power. And then she manifests a mallet in which she hits him on the back of the head and knocks him out. Now, question I had last time was exactly where her power comes from, like what her power exactly is, how she gains the weapon. Is it the same thing every time? This time we see it's a tiny little mallet, so I'm still not positive if she can change it or if it's always just a mallet. But last time I also was wondering if it was, because it looks like she was doing something from her wrist, if it was a self-harm type of thing in which that allows her to get a power Attack on Titan style, or if it was more she can just manifest something. And it seems like she can just manifest things with the use of blood, in which then create objects that she uses as weapons. And then get this pretty gross and horrifying moment where she drags his entire body and just leaves the blood leaking from his head as she's dragging him into this house. We then find out the devil that took the cat was a bat devil. At this moment, she brings up how she brought the human that the devil wanted. And this initially raised some concerns for me, as it was, is she not working on our side actually? She's just trying to dispose of Denji. Was the cat just all a made up lie to lure him into this? And it made me wonder. We later end up finding out that actually isn't the case. The cat is real and she's just working on a deal that she made once she was able to find the cat. So it also makes me wonder, she said that she wasn't able to get the cat back before she was caught. So she did find the devil who took the cat a long time ago, but hasn't had the opportunity in order to bring a human to the bat. And where we later will see her flashback, she seemed like she was very powerful in killing these animals and being able to do things, which is interesting because then she struggled for so long, or what I believe would be so long, for being able to take a human to this bat. Is that more so just what we saw earlier with her checking in, having to be checked in and out, and after she was captured, she's been being watched over so much that it's impossible for her to go out of her way and really do this, and that's why this was the perfect opportunity for him. And it also goes to show, I guess, if Makima was the one who caught her, like she said, and Power seems to be very strong, how strong and what exactly is Makima able to do? That devil goes to eat Denji, and when he gets his blood in order to try and heal him, the blood tastes terrible and he doesn't like it. If I recall correct, that is because he's a devil or has part devil in him, so their blood just naturally doesn't end up tasting good. As a punishment for that, the bat devil decides to go ahead and swallow whole the cat of Powers, which leads to a sequence of flashbacks of Power, in which we see she's very dirty, has no clothes, out all over the place. She finds this cat that appears to be starving and decides that she wants to eat it, but however she will hold on as long as she can, feed this cat in order to make it nice and bulked up and plump for her to eat it. At this time we can see she does have her horns, so she already was a fiend. We then go through all these different sequences with her, like this one with the cow, where she's killing off these different things in order to try and survive. And then she says she's killed off all that she can find, and it's becoming weird to hear a voice that isn't screaming. Now, I have zero idea or even theory into what the hell this could mean. So if somebody has anything in mind, let me know. But interesting. The bad devil and then takes Power and swallows her whole as well. Talks about how disgusting she tastes. Once again, probably because of the blood. Now, he didn't actually kill any of them, or would it appear he just swallowed them? So I'm assuming there's going to be a way to be able to recover them after he gets killed. Really cool here. Didn't notice it at first when they end up revealing that Denji was latched onto his leg. You can actually see it from the moment he jumps off that Denji was on his leg. So cool little detail they added. Denji then uses his own experience in the past with Vegeta on how he used to feel lonely and how he used to feel just having somebody for him, which ultimately leads back to how Power must have felt losing her cat and having to be without it and all those nights. We then get some really cool action scenes. CG stuff's still there. It's going to be for the whole series, so I'm not going to keep talking about it. And it didn't bug me as much this time, though. I will just say that. It just didn't feel as, I don't know, apparent. Maybe because the room was so dark and there wasn't so much going on in the background before that it was easy to, it felt almost too focused-like. But either way, don't prefer it, but it's honestly not that bad. Denji then catches a card which is thrown at him, where we learn two things. One, he can retract the blades within his arms. So can he do the one in his head? I don't know. But he can retract the ones within his arm. And two, he's able to hold this damn car just by the front with his two hands. I'm assuming when he's in this mode, he becomes incredibly powerful. And it's not just his weapons, but him as a person becomes stupid powerful, which is really dope to see. Some really incredible sounds and sound design overall that they used for these fighting scenes with the chainsaws, and then the sound of whatever this cannon thing or like sound wave that he fires through his nose. I don't actually know what it is, but really dope sounds. And then ultimately wraps up just really, really cool moments. Great fight scene, looked great, was fun. The ED we get is visually amazing. The different styles and effects and just everything that's going on, just it looks incredible. I absolutely love this one. So to sum up everything, really, Power's not as simple as I thought. I thought she wasn't going to have much going for her, be that complex of a character, whereas I guess she's still not really that complex of a character, but she has a lot more going for her now than I initially had felt. Which is exciting. Denji's still completely motivated to achieve his dream. Aki still doesn't like the idea that Denji wants to work with them and be friendly with demons. And Makima seems very calculated, smart, scary, and almost like she doesn't actually care for others, but she knows what people want and how to act around others. At least the vibes I'm getting from her. But overall, she seems like the most interesting one here, and I want to know a lot more about her, but it's probably not going to give us too much info. Easily, I'd probably say my favorite episode so far. I think there's just so much for me to kind of dig into and think about, and I liked it a lot. Let me know down below in the comments if you had anything else that you picked up, or maybe I missed, or maybe I'm completely wrong on something. Extremely excited for next week. Hit the like and subscribe button if you want. Leave any feedback down below in the comments. Follow me on Twitter and Mal. Links are both in the description, and I will see you all next week. Peace.